Hey everybody, Ted King here. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, I'm going to guess that if you end up on this channel, if you've seen videos over the years, it's because you're watching my bike rides and bike races, you want to tune into my travels, maybe you're watching an interview that I've done with somebody in the cycling world. And it is not my intention to make this a review page, although on occasion I talk about the products I use. However, to answer a question that I seem to be getting more and more often, I wanted to create this particular video, and that is to discuss the HoverAir X1 Pro Max. In so many words, this is an autonomous drone. A little bit more than that, autonomous drone basically means its job is to follow you, whether you're riding or walking or skiing or hiking. Its job is to follow you and create some really cool content that way. Now, a quick backstory, about a year ago, someone Laura follows on social media was using this product, and so Laura basically reached out to me and said, hey, you gotta get your hands on one of these HoverAir X1 Pro Maxes, and voila, lo and behold, I have. So I've used it for about a year, and as a result of the content that I'm able to produce with it, I wanted to make this video for you today. So, what do you notice? First and foremost, it comes in this very nice box. I feel like you can often tell the quality of a product based on the packaging and the materials it comes in. Really nice packaging. This is by the folks at 00 Robotics. So once you get into it, I feel like so much of the initial impression of a product is that first time you get your hands on it, that first tactile touch. I mean, again, packaging is absolutely beautiful. The product itself is sort of what you see is what you would hope. Really lightweight, really well done, really nice design. Everything is crisp, moving, snapping into place. You simply go like that to deploy it, deploy the wings. We'll go through some operational stuff very shortly. Like anything else these days, of course, is gonna come with some instructions, a variety of different instruction sets. The most basic one is the please read this first so you don't go flying your drone off into the orbit. Much like virtually every piece of modern electronics, it's going to come with an app, highly recommended, really easy to use, really well designed. So spend a minute or two to download the HoverAir app. And in the interim, before we get too deep into the app world, I want to take a minute and talk about autonomous drones versus what one might call a more traditional drone. So this is a super common remote controlled drone. This was a gift from Laura a couple years ago. Really nice piece of equipment. Its unit itself is about yay big, so quite a bit bigger, quite a bit heavier than the HoverAir. It comes with a remote that is approximately the same size as the unit itself, which plugs into your phone. So all said and done, you basically have something, I don't know, half the size of a shoebox that you're driving in order to control the drone. That's all well and good if you're a professional drone pilot and actually know what you're doing, but if you're a hack like me and you're trying to ride your bike and create content of yourself riding your bike while manipulating the drone on your handlebars, you're asking for a disaster. So I use this drone largely for landscape shots. I mean, places where I'm gonna be standing stationary and I'm able to capture some content off in the distance. So truth be told, this is a really nice piece of equipment, but based on the way it works and how much I use it, it largely stands to the side and collects dust. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes, what the HoverAir is all about. It's collecting super cool shots all by itself, so you get to do what you actually want to do, which is ride your bike, go for a hike, go for a run, and then create content afterwards. So, one touch is going to show you the battery life, press and hold, it's going to turn the unit on. Effectively only one button, there's an on button, then you press it left or right to toggle through the settings. Super easy system to use. You're going to get used to that noise.
Current mode, follow.
So, getting into the various flight modes. Here we have all of the options as you see on the app, and then you can control it right there on the unit itself. Let's talk about some of the different modes that the HoverAir has. So there's, of course, hover. These are all gonna be very simple terms and pretty easy to understand what they do. Hover is when the unit itself just stays in place. You can have it track on or track off. So it tracks on, then as you move around, it recognizes you as a person and will track you. Zoom out is one where you stand in place. Basically the unit, you can set the distance that it's gonna fly away from, and the drone will fly away and then fly on back. Follow, pretty obvious. You press go, you have it follow you. There are settings within settings that we can get into in just a minute. There's orbit, where the thing is going to do a 360-degree or more turn around you. Bird's eye goes straight into the air, a variety of different distances. Spiral does sort of this corkscrewy turn all around you, so kind of like orbit, but a little bit more dynamic. Dolly track is one that I really enjoy to use. That's where I set the unit in front of me, press go, and it's gonna follow me as it drives in reverse. So that one collects some really cool straight on shots. Sidetrack, a little bit difficult in the woods if you're gonna be mountain biking. You also need to be aware of traffic. If you're riding your bike on the right side of the road and you have the unit flying to the left in the lane of traffic, but it produces really cool side shots. Ski mode, yep, it's used for skiing. We're gonna get into something more about that in just a second. Cycling mode, that is where it has a really cool dynamic follow feature. It basically sees where you're going and it dodges in and out of trees. Not perfect, but works pretty darn good. 360 spin, that's gonna be a cool one if you have a variety of people around you. That's where the unit itself is gonna spin 360 degrees. So for example, if you had a group of people all in a circle, it would just look around at that group. Dolly zoom, that one's pretty neat. Again, optimal for landscapes, so you really wanna make a dynamic shot of what's going on behind you. And indoor follow, that is optimized for travel in the house. So I mentioned some settings within the settings. Let's take cycling mode, for example. You can have it choose between close, mid, or far. That's the proximity it is to you. And then different angles. You can be flat, you can be a little bit high, or you can be at high altitude as it follows you. Some of the differences in, let's say, bird eye, for example, you can choose the different heights at which it's going to shoot and then whether it's going to rotate when it gets a nice dramatic shot from above. What's really nice is you can choose the settings on the device itself, so you don't need to be taking your phone out of your pocket to toggle through these things all the time.
Ski mode, dolly track, bird eye, spiral, orbit, follow, zoom out, hover.
Thank you. What else? Another very handy feature of the app is that there is a locate my hover. So we live in an imperfect world and you might be riding around and the thing goes off in the woods. Because it's so light and it's so silent, you can lose it. It will beep, it'll let you know where it is, but there's also a locate my hover feature on here. There's actually a really nice community on here, so you can be uploading your videos and showing what you're producing with your HoverAir as opposed to what other folks are producing. I feel like there are a lot of really annoying apps on the market, but overall I've been very happy with the ease of use of the HoverAir app and basically how simple and fun it is. So what else can we talk about? Again, I've been using the product for a year. When it comes in the box, you're going to get a battery, maybe a single battery, I don't remember exactly. However, you can accessorize through the nose, much like everything these days. So let's go through a variety of options. So the charging hub is a pretty basic one. You're gonna charge up to 2 batteries at a time. It is USB-C charged, cable ready, so easy to charge. Nothing earth-shattering there, but this is a really handy product. Speaking of batteries, you heard me say that there is a ski mode. Now, obviously batteries are gonna drain at different rates, but they have a thermo smart battery, of which I have 2. Really handy in that these batteries are designed to operate down to sub-zero Fahrenheit. I wanna say -4, -5 degrees Fahrenheit. So really handy. I mean, it's literally snowing all week here in Vermont. Great through the winter, great for riding through the winter, and been really, really happy with this. The typical battery life is gonna be 16 minutes per full battery. So that is why it's really handy to have multiple batteries if you're going for a long shoot of any sort. Another accessory that I just got my hands on within the past month or so that I've been really happy with is the beacon. You turn on the beacon, you turn on the HoverAir, and depending on where you're gonna have this, it serves a variety of purposes. For one, it has a screen, oh hello, so you can see what the HoverAir is doing. The second place that beacon becomes really handy is it is a remote. So if some people are really accustomed to having manual control and they really like doing that, there are 3 different ways that you can use beacon as a remote. There are 2 buttons on the device itself ready to control the HoverAir. Secondly, you can get a product called joystick. So the way joystick works is you can have it with one-handed control, and through a variety of different movements, you can control the HoverAir that way. I'm gonna put it down for everybody's sanity, mine included. Or you use the other attachment, goes like so, and there you have a traditional remote control joystick feature. And then furthermore, you can deploy these bottom little doohickeys chuck a cable in the side, and so you have a large screen as opposed to seeing the small screen. All said and done, the menu control becomes very easy with this super cool feature. So that is the very quick tutorial of what the HoverAir is all about. Again, the folks at 00 Robotics have come out with 3 different products. The X1 is shooting 2.7K at 30 frames per second. You move up to the X1 Pro and that can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second. And you move up to the X1 Pro Max and that's shooting at an astonishing 8K at 30 frames per second, and then a super high resolution slow-mo 4K at 120 frames per second. Another key difference based on what sort of activities you're gonna do is the speed at which it can move. So the HoverAir X1 moves at 16 miles an hour. The Pro and Pro Max can move at 26 miles an hour constant, and then it can accelerate up to 37 miles an hour when it needs to do a quick acceleration to catch up with you. So it can't maintain that 37 miles an hour, but it is easier said than done to outrun the unit. Now, quite frankly, nothing is perfect. I've really enjoyed using it. Some setbacks can be, for obvious reasons, it comes with a warning that says don't use it in windy conditions, but naturally I'm gonna push the limit. So if I'm on the top of a mountain and I find it really windy, it can be really difficult to have it come back to you. In really tight quarters, when I'm mountain biking or something like that, it will notice when there are things that it doesn't want to run into. But when you're moving through the woods at high speed, it doesn't always have the immediate reaction time. Courtesy of being so lightweight, when I have crashed it, I go back and pick it up and it's remained relatively intact. You can buy some different replacement parts and pieces, so thankfully it is reparable. We are of course zeroing in on the end of the review, and therefore I want to tell you what I actually think about it. I absolutely love the HoverAir X1 Pro Max. It has been revolutionary in how I produce videos and a lot of the content that I'm putting out. So 1 year into using this product, I can only imagine it's just gonna get that much better. It's already incredibly light. It fits really nicely into a jersey pocket, but from here, they're only gonna make it that much lighter. The image quality is already fantastic, so I'm not too worried about that. I imagine the avoidance techniques and the obstacle detection that it already has is only gonna get that much better. But how good it is right now is enough for me to say, this thing's amazing. I absolutely love it, and I have a hunch that you would too. If you have a HoverAir, I'm curious what you think. Drop a comment up down below. If you end up getting one, please let me know. Yeah, I'm curious what you think of it. I appreciate you following this video all the way to the end if you've made it this far. Again, I'm new to this review world, but you probably won't see a whole ton of them in the future. But love this thing, check it out, peace out. Hey guys, one more thing you don't want to miss. HoverAir is having a Black Friday sale going on right now, so you can save up to 35% off site-wide. If you order right now, you're gonna get yourself a free battery. Check out the link provided in my show notes, and I thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.